Okay guys, this is going to be the part 5 of the video tutorial in the sequence. So in the previous one I showed you how to do add, insert, basic CRUD operation for insert and edit, and now we're going to show you how to do a delete. Okay, so first let me do the demo of delete. So basically let's say I would like to delete this record for some reason, and then I have this little pop-up message right here. Are you sure you want to delete this record? Oh yeah, you have enough. Of course you do. Cancel. Or then if you do okay, this record is now deleted. Let's go ahead and delete that one too. Okay, so how that really works behind the scene, let's look into that code. Okay, to look into that code, okay, so that should be pretty easy. So this is my JavaScript code. Close all of this, and let's open the corresponding view or HTML here. Angularjs HTTP. Okay, just like in before, let's look into a markup, and then the markup is pretty easy. Basically. So here, this is my my ng app module. So basically this whole DOM is basically populated by the Angular. This is my ng app directive, and give it name my module, because I have in my JavaScript I have a code called my module here. Okay, and I have a controller. I call my module controller, and then in the table I have a header of the table, and then after that I use this ng directive called ng repeat, so that all these would be repeated as every time you add a new record into the holiday and leave. Okay, so in ng repeat is very easy to understand. It's kind of like a for each. I'm basically saying holiday in holidays. So this construct, this holiday, is just the name of variable. I could have used whatever. I could have used blah in holidays. It would have worked, but kind of makes sense to have a meaningful variable name as a holiday in this array of holidays. So basically, it is a for loop here. On each iteration, basically this holiday has a property called created date. This is a filter. I'm not going to talk about this one later. I'm here using the built-in filter called date. There are a bunch of them. You can read about them into their documentation. So basically, I'm populating all of my those objects right here. Okay, that is that. And of course, I have two action here. The first one is delete, and then the edit. I already talked about edit, how it works, and then now I'm going to talk about the delete here. On delete, I call this method called remove, and I'm passing the holiday. This is one instance of the object to this method called remove. So if you go into that, let's look into a remove method. Okay, how the delete really works. As before, in our code, basically we have same name. We define our module, and with the same name with no dependency. After that, we define our service factory and give a name as my HTTP service, and pass required dependency to it. So, and it is just like all the other previous examples that I showed it to you. Basically, return object literal key value pair, and it has a method like get all. And it has a method called save holiday and remove holiday and leave. Okay, that is my structure of my service, right? And of course, I have here my controller, and I give a controller my module controller, which you can see tied up to our markup, to our template, my module controller right here. And then of course, controller will be using the services or method provided by the services. That is the basic idea. And So very first thing that happens when this module is called, it calls this little method called load. So basically it try to grab all the data from the server, basically pulls out data from this table here. Okay, let's see how to do that. You know, I have a service called my HTTP service, and that has a method called getAll, as you can see here. And then getAll method just returns the control HTTP, and then of course, you know, this HTTP has huge amount of method. One of them is get. If you need to make a get request to the server, you're going to call a get method and pass the URL that into which you are, you know, making the call. In our case, I'll show you later, we have a get holiday and leave as a get method in our controller. In our controller. So that is getAll. Okay, so I was talking about this one right here. So this is the very first thing I loaded. So basically all my data would be displayed like here. Okay, so let me go ahead and add one more here. Of course, you know, it's not gonna work like that. You gotta start the Visual Studio. This here 9:30 to 9:30 a.m. It's not really all day even. Let's say we have some program on 19, also on 19 to end time. Let's say up to 12 p.m. We will have our staff meeting to talk about Angularjs and Knockout.js comparison. Whatever. Okay, so we have two here. We'll have our staff meeting. We just added this one. So basically this method right here, load, that's what it's doing, right? Basically loading and displaying that. So of course, you know, it is calling our service to get all data, and on success, like it's a promise, you know. So and then this is the data that comes out, and we can associate that with our holiday data, right? That's how it becomes available to the template. And then, okay, this is interesting. This is so let's say I was going to explain to you about delete. So how the delete really works. So at this point, this object from the scope I call the remove method. When I call remove method, I'm actually passing the holiday object, one instance of the holiday, well, actual object, like basically the memory version of the row of data, your holiday. And then of course I have in my service I have method called remove holiday and leave that takes a holiday to remove, basically takes the object to remove. And if we can do that, so unsuccessful, we'll have a data. So most important thing is, because like let's say we have to reload it, we gotta load it again, so that if I don't call this load method here, because like even if, you know, if I do delete, it will be actually deleted from the backend database, but it wouldn't be refreshed. So basically that's why I have to load it again. Second time when I load, I will have least amount of record. You call the same load method again, and we'll have fewer amount of you know, a least amount of data to work on. So this is my basic, you know, this is really you know, its starting point. Of course you can do really cool things with the Angularjs and for the CRUD operation. I think Angularjs is really good for a basic CRUD operation and stuff like that, kind of like a business line application, you know. And most of the application in the web these days, a business application, is really, I think it's a really good idea to, you know, learn Angularjs, because it has huge amount of support, and of course it's from the Google. Well, I work from, you know, I have no problem whatever. Good